Before I get into the paragraph formatting, I want to take a quick moment to talk about this ruler line. And if yours is not showing, go into View Ruler. And I'll turn mine back on. And where the gray and white areas meet, if I put my arrow right along this dotted line where the gray and white area meet, it becomes a two-sided arrow. And that appears to move the margin for the entire document. And we'll talk about that more in a future tutorial. I just wanted to mention that right off the bat. Now, to start formatting our paragraph, we can do this a couple of ways. We want to bring up the paragraph dialog box. One way is Format, Paragraph. Another way is in the paragraph that we want to edit, let's say the second one here, I'm going to right-click and then select Paragraph. And the third way is to double-click on one of these two or these three. There's one on the right, and there's a lower one and an upper one on the left. If I just double-click one of those markers, we also can get the paragraph box. The reason that double-clicking on these markers opens up a paragraph box is because they are actually the margins for that paragraph. If I bring this, I'm grabbing the lower one and dragging it in, grabbing the right one, bringing that in, and this top one is for your indentation of your first line. And we can move it proportionally. Now when I grab the bottom line, it moves the top one in proportion. And going outside of our margin, it even allows that. And our whole paragraph, if I want to take the paragraph outside the regular margins, it has no problems with that because it's only for that paragraph. Bringing up our paragraph dialog box again, our first tab says Indents and Spacing. These are basically what we just set with our markers up on the ruler. Our before text is the left, and if we look down in this little picture, we can see what it would look like. Get an idea. It's not perfect, but so I take that up to like 60. It brings it in, and clicking OK, you can see that it moved it in to 0.6 of an inch is what I have it. Let's bring that back. We're saying 0.63 of an inch using US measurement is what I have it set for. And the after is to the right. And the first line we have at -2. We can set that back to 0 by using these little arrows. Or we can just type in the number if we like. So now it's set up. And automatic, if we don't want to worry about how it's set, this has a setup. And we'll... and notice that we have it on automatic. It took away our top little marker here on our ruler. Because it's automatic, we can't change it. The next thing we have is spacing above and below the paragraph. That should be pretty obvious, and we can see in the little example here, if I make this maybe like 2 inches, you saw that kind of drop down a little bit, taking it back to 0. And actually, if we look in how I set mine up, clicking on this paragraph, I just hit the paragraph bar twice. I could have set the spacing so that each paragraph would be separated. I only hit the enter one time, but I did not. I hit the paragraph twice. Now looking at the line spacing, that's pretty obvious. Single, 1.5, double spaced, at least. I want to take a look at this one here, fixed. When we click on fixed, it gives us a height, and I've got 0.2 inches. If I click OK here, now let's say I make some of this text a different font size. Let's make this thing maybe like 28, 20, yeah, there's 28. So it ends up getting cut off because I've already told it fixed. Don't go any bigger than 28. And the very bottom of our dialog box, we have register true. Now this is supposed to make every line in that paragraph the same height. And when I click on activate, we don't see anything happening because we need to also format the entire page. Where's our page? We need to click on Format Register True here. And if I move this to the side, when I click this and click OK, we see that it made these all larger. It overrode that fixed formatting height of 0.2 inches and went to the same height as our largest font, not only for those lines, but for every line in the paragraph.